Hey, what's going on, guys? Your boy Ghost here, and today we have another TWAB, and this is a big one, which is another surprising opportunity, considering that we just got 2 articles yesterday. Seems like they're pumping out all the information. So make sure you get your snacks, your drinks, and let's get into this. This week in Destiny, we're getting ready to race in Revenant. That's because we're not only got a new dungeon coming in a couple of weeks, but we also have our first ever dungeon race to commemorate its launch. God, I'm so mad. We've got all the details to share, so let's jump in. Topic this week: Vesper hosts dungeon race. Watch the dungeon race at Twitch Rivals. Revenant Act 1 developer live stream on October 1st. And PvP strike team update. Okay. This is sick, by the way. I'm using this as a thumbnail. We ain't adding nothing else. This is sick. This reminds me of Mass Effect, like a mass relay. Vespers hosts the new dungeon coming in Revenant. Will be released on Friday, October 11th. Not only will it be the first dungeon to have contest mode enabled, but we're also excited to announce Vespers hosts Dungeon Race. As we've done with raids in the past, we are inviting top fire teams in the world to compete for glory and prizes in a race from the finish line. It's going to be a little different compared to the raid. This time, the first 3 fire teams to finish the dungeon will be crowned winners and rewarded. For those brave guardians looking for take on a challenge, here's what you can expect. Contest mode will be enabled for 48 hours. Yeah, I'm gonna miss it. Fudge, man, I'm going to miss it. I'm so sad. Normal mode will be available as soon as the first 3 teams clear the dungeon. You'll need to be at least 1985 power level cap to be high enough through all encounters. So if you're at 2000 now, you're fine. Entry requirements: assemble a fire team of 3 and start Vespers host dungeon contest mode from the planet system map. All fire team members must own the final shape dungeon key and acquire the quest Rogue Network from the Spider in the Last City seasonal hub. Oh, so the Spider's gonna be the Last City, got it. Completion criteria: once the final encounter is complete, the fire team must loot the final chest, or they may not be recorded, or the finish may not be recorded. A team official finish will be recorded when they loot the final chest. At least one member of the fire team must have completed and received loot from every encounter, and must be the first time completing the activity for all members of the fire team. For full details and eligibility requirements of the race, please visit our official rules. Contest mode details: contest mode applies some very specific rules to raids and now dungeons. Enemies are more aggressive. Encounters features resurrection tokens, and some encounters will have enraged mechanics that limit the number of phases or time players have left to complete it. Also, character power does not provide an advantage above the recommended level. Those of you that triumph this challenge during the 48 hours after dungeon launches will earn bragging rights, a special emblem, and the dungeon exotic weapon. Yes, it's a guaranteed reward during contest mode. You have plenty of time to prepare for what's to come and to put together an incredible fire team. For those who aren't interested in contest mode, you won't have to wait 48 hours. Take your shot at the new dungeon. Normal mode will be enabled as soon as the first 3 fire teams complete the dungeon. I'm so pissed. All right, well, like I said before, I'm not gonna be here. I would have loved to attempt the solo. That is a bit saddening that they're only leaving it on for the first 3 teams to beat it. I feel like they should definitely leave it on for 48 hours, I guess, but it's a dungeon, so people want to play it, which makes sense, but they should at least leave the option available for 48 hours, no matter if the teams beat it, but it don't matter to me because I'm not going to be able to play it. Good luck to everybody who rushes. I hope you guys get it. Let me know how Housebreaker is. I'm sure I'll see people getting clips about it when I get back home. Follow the dungeon race on Twitch Rivals. We're just a few weeks away from the release of the new dungeon Vespers host, and with it comes an epic challenge between the top fire teams in the world as they race to the podium to win our inaugural dungeon race. To celebrate the occasion, we're partnering with Twitch Rivals to broadcast some of the streamers participating in this race. If you are a creator looking to be part of this event, sign-ups begin today, and we will open until October 4th, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Registered and approved creators will be provided with the following exclusive Twitch drops while the race is taking place: the Everless Flow emblem, where watch at least 2 hours of any creator with Twitch drops enabled. Broadcasting from the Dark emblem, subscribe to your favorite Destiny 2 streamer. Active between October 11th and October 13th. Okay, so October 11th to 13th. Join us for the Revenant Act 1 developer live stream. Destiny 2 Revenant is launching on October 8th, and we're excited to give you a closer look at everything we've been working on. Tune in on October 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for our developer live stream. Where we will share a detailed look at everything coming in the first act of Revenant, along with an early chat detailing some of the upcoming changes that will arrive with Codename Frontiers. We'll have a new emblem that you can earn via Twitch drop, so watch at least 15 minutes of the live stream to earn the Revenant Echo, and make sure you'll have a Twitch account linked to at Bungie to collect your loot. Okay, this is a fire This is a Fire Emblem, really fire. October 1st is a Tuesday, right? I'm assuming it's a Sunday. Okay. This is September. Tuesday, yeah, okay. PvP Strike Team update. Hey Guardians, the PvP Strike Team here with an update on what you can expect from Revenant. Before we get into the details, here's a quick outline of what we'll be covering. General Crucible reprised D2 map, Solitude, updated UI, class icons return, assisted by messages, tool destruction, tombstone icons, mercy rule changes, lobby balance improvements, competitive, point reward simplification, placement match improvements, sandbox matter overview, PvP weapon micro tuning, Trials of Osiris upcoming match schedule, new weapons, and class-based trials lab. And a preview of what's coming beyond Revenant. Herasy, the next episode. Okay, so we're getting a trials rework in Herasy. Crucible specific ability uptime tuning, understandable. Playlist of reorganization, Iron Banner improvements, skill and rank changes. We have another substantial Crucible update planned for 2025. And we'll have more to share on this in the future. What to inspect in Revenant? Oh, they're finally bringing this map back? About time. To set expectations, will be relatively quiet during Revenant. Outside of some of the work on Trials of Osiris rewards and general sandbox spawn and map tuning, we are now working on a substantial overhaul for multiple PvP systems for Herasy and beyond. Built on the knowledge we've gained from our new experimentation over the last 6 months, we will share some details and selections of our goals below, but we still have more info for you once the changes are more solidified. In the meantime, to help you hold you over, we do have a handful of changes going live in Revenant that we can share. Okay, Solitude is coming back. Understandable. Good. We've made several UI changes that should help provide information more clearly during combat. To start, class icons will return, displaying place of the Guardian rank on enemies. Understandable, but pretty much everyone can tell what class he is. We also added assisted by callouts to death screen that will tell you when a person who defeated you was assisted by another Guardian or Guardians. Okay, so this is know if you're getting team shotted. Understandable. Finally, we updated the tombstone icon for your allies to show their tool of destruction in case you missed it in the kill feed. Okay, so you see how you died. Updating mercy rules. In Revenant, we have done a pass over our mercy rules in 6v6 playlist. Initially, these rules were set to only activate during a small window of time in a match, which had led to occurrences where the game that should have been mercied has bypassed the window and dragged on to completion. Additionally, there was a portion of the time when the game would not mercy but would turn join in progress off, so games could go down several players, but neither of the mercy rule nor the backfill features would kick in as expected. Moving forward, we have extended the window within the game can within which a game can mercy and close the gap between disabling joining in progress and enabling mercy, so that joining in progress will only be disabled if a mercy is imminent. Due to the increased window, we are expecting the number of games that end in mercies to increase, but as soon as we have enough data, we will tune the mercy trigger limits for the corresponding game modes as needed. Competitive. We have 2 changes coming to our competitive playlist in Revenant that may sound small, but we think will have a noticeable positive impact on the experience. We have reduced the variability of points granted based off skill delta between the 2 teams. Currently, the difference in opposing team skill compared to your team skill can have an outsized impact on how many points you gain or after you win or a loss. While this can help offset the sting of falling to a higher skill team that's currently at or near your rank, the variability can also make the point reward amount feel confusing. So we've streamlined the way points are calculated to better align the actual rewards with what players would actually expect to see after a game. We have changed the way placement matches work to make it more accurately track towards your expected rank. In current placement matches model, it'll often feel like you're being bounced around between widely variable experiences as the system hunts for your expected rank placement. The new placement system will narrow in more gradually, and the experience should be significantly less jarring for players of all skills. Lobby balancing, this is a big issue. It wouldn't be a PvP Strike Team update without something to mention about lobby balancing. In update 8.0.5, we have planned to ship a new variant of Snake Draft design to improve upon some of the issues caused in the base version. But we ran into a bug where some abnormal situations, fire teams could end up split between teams, so we had to disable that system while we got it fixed in place. While unfortunate, this situation did give us the opportunity to test our new lobby rank averaging system that would originally intend to be a fallback for Snake Draft should it ever not be able to officially make a match. Lobby rank averaging works the same as average skill, except we rank the players in the lobby from best to worst, so from 1 to 6 for 3v3 or 1 to 12 for 6v6, and then balance team based balance off each player's rank within the lobby instead of the exact skill values. This allows us to still generally balance the lobby, but it makes it highly unlikely that the best player in the lobby will end up with more than a fair share of lower skilled players in order to drag down the actual skill average. Because it caps both high and low, how high and low the skills can be perceived. I'm sorry, words are hard. Under this system, most matches end up with skill allocations like we would expect from snake drafting. However, while there are fewer ways the players can be balanced, and while achieving the same average on each team compared to average skill, we still experience some solutions where top 3 players could be placed on the same team alongside the bottom 3 players. This can end up creating an odd team dynamic where the critical mass of highly skilled players on one team rolls over the opposite team composed of mostly average players, despite half of the winning team contributing very little to the outcome. Because of the described occurrence, lobby rank averaging in practice was generally worse than both average skills and snake draft for balancing the outcomes of all solo matches, but significantly better than the initial iteration of snake draft when dealing with fire teams. Where the above scenario was unlikely to occur, we believe that with some minor modifications to the rules to prevent the situation described above, it will be a sufficient fallback lobby balancer for the future. Also, this makes 4 different variants of lobby balancing that we are tested in the live game, and now that we believe we have corrected the issues in our improved snake draft system, we'll be rolling it out as our 5th. We're still saving the deep technical jargon and explanations on how lobby balancing works for a later article, but to give you a heads up on what we're changing, here's the TLDR. Lobby rank average, which is active 8.0.4 onward, didn't always work well for solo games. For all solo games, but it worked better than based on the snake draft for fire teams usually created less frustrating team compositions compared to average skill. We have fixed an issue in the newest variant of snake draft that could lead to pre-made fire teams being split up and we'll be re-rolling it out in 8.1.0. While our improved snake draft will be the primary lobby balancer entering Revenant, lobby rank averaging will be a fallback. We're excited to see the newest iteration of Into the Wild again, and we'll continue to iterate and tune the formulas as needed until we can strike the correct balance for the Crucible. Alright, I'm all for lobby balance changes. I hope it's good. I'm glad they fixed the whole issue with the people being on opposite teams. That's a really big thing. But let's hear more about the sandbox. There's a lot to talk about in the sandbox. We have the abilities and gameplay preview last week, and next week we'll have weapons and armor preview, so we're not going to spend too much time on it here. Okay. We did have one note we missed last week. In Revenant, we're going to be placing a cap on the amount of crouch inputs you can enter per second to equalize hold and crouch, while toggle crouch in terms of behavior. This limit is something that can be tuned, and because the tactical crouch or 2 during the engagement is an expression of skill, not something we want to discourage. We verified in our playtesting that the first pass was set that it would be difficult to tell the limit existed if you were crouching at a normal cadence. However, our goal is to reduce the amount of untargeted crouch spamming done either manually or via macros encountered while playing Crucible, and we can further change the value as needed to prevent this behavior. In addition, we also want to focus on a small bit of weapon balance while we have upcoming and generally give a summary of what our meta sits currently. Primary weapons. Alright. As you can see in the charts below, kills over expected display on the y-axis and percent of kills of the x-axis. We don't have a ton of outliers. Hand cannons are clear favorite in high skill levels, but auto rifles and pulse rifles are both making a strong showing, and our more niche primary weapons, submachine guns, sidearms, and scout rifles are similarly cherished. Okay. Hand cannons, of course, the highest in the higher ranks. Rose, of course. Kvastov, of course. LC's rifle. Love to see Ace of Spades still hitting work. Hawkmoon still doing pretty good. Summoner pretty good. Red Death pretty good. Thorn. Okay. Everything's pretty good over here. People are still using touch announcers. That's crazy. All-Stringer W, Multi-Mac W. J-Mac was probably from Jade Rabbit was probably from the Trials weekend on Multiplex. Okay, Shayoro's pretty good too. Repost. Okay. But yeah, the outliers over here are Ace. Ace is pretty stuck in the middle, but Kvastov, LC's, and Rose. Well, when we check the distance details, we can see that a handful of weapon subfamilies are making up most of the representation for the well-performing archetypes. Adaptive hand cannons, adaptive auto rifles, and high-impact pulse rifles, none of them are egregiously too strong, so for Revenant we want to focus on bringing up the lower performers more than nerfing the strongest options, but we're going to be making some minor changes to both ends. Oh goodness. Most of the changes we're making are to underperforming weapons, and are focused around increasing the forgiveness or allowing them to be better interacted with damage boost in general. We don't want to be moving optimal time to kills around too much from where they are now. The one exception is heavy burst pulse rifles, which are also getting an RPM change, but we will discuss that in detail next week. Okay. Adaptive hand cannons. Base range from reduce base range from 4.47 to 44.5. Critical damage from 80.3 to 80.1. Slightly reduces the 3-tap range once damage falls has begun by 1 meter. Reduce the critical hit damage on adaptive auto rifles. Reduces the forgiveness against high resilience tiers. High impact pulse rifles with critical hit damage from 40.1 to 39.6. Lowers the resiliency thresholds to force 6 critical headshots instead of 5 criticals in one body. Buff to adaptive SMGs. So base damage from 10.9 to 11. Decreased body shot time to kill. Precision auto rifles. Precision auto rifles. So that's like adaptive auto rifles. I mean precision auto rifles. We got Shadow Price. Prosecutor, we got Tiger Spite, and then we got proposes a lightweight. What else? That's a high impact. Rapid fire. But yeah, so we got Tiger Spite, Prosecutor, Shadow Keep, Shadow Price. So those are some SMGs. I actually do kind of like Tiger Spite. It's actually pretty good. Moving forward, we're probably not gonna do that anymore. High impact auto rifles. Okay, precision hand cannons. Base damage increased to 4.5. Okay, y'all can read all this, bro. Basically buff. Well, I want to see this. Okay, so they buffed the damage. Ooh. Base body damage 24, critical hit to 52.8. Slightly increases forgiveness and range after damage fall off. Allows better interaction with damage boost. Okay. All right. Aggressive scouts, good. All these seem pretty good. Special and heavy weapons. While we continue to work on our new ammo meter system, we don't have much to share on special ammo at this point. In Revenant, we are going to begin walking back some of the flinch increases that sniper rifles received to try and find a good balance between the two, between taking damage and knocking them off their shot. And the movement of the camera itself feeling too jarring to use. We'll also be slightly buffing trace rifle starting ammo and ammo from crates. So you now get 29 instead of 25 shots and reduce flinch against players to 10%. Understandable. All right. With the numerical dominance of one weapon, oh my goodness, good lord, look at Hammerhead. Dude, I don't even be seeing that many Hammerheads. Good lord, I didn't even see that. With the numerical dominance of one weapon is concerning, it would be difficult to tune it down without nerfing the perks in themselves or adaptive machine gun subfamily. Despite none of their other members overperforming by anywhere near the same margin, instead of initially we're going to look at slightly reducing the prevalence of heavy ammo in our 6v6 modes overall, while buffing the underperforming heavy weapons types to slightly better compete, specifically without increasing the actual uptime of heavy ammo. Our first pass in Revenant will be reducing the total number of heavy ammo spawns to control from 5 to 4, and the future release will also look at how heavy ammo works in other modes like Iron Banner Fortress. If this is not effective in spreading out the usage, we can revisit the amount of ammo certain machine guns earn from heavy crates. So, we increased the heavy critical machine guns, high impact range, increased critical hit damage by 44%, heavy ammo grenade launchers and PvP increased the direct impact damage by approximately 7 to 26%, depending on the blast radius stat to make it accurate fire more effective against guardians with overshield and damage resistance. Rapid fire increased the impact detonation damage further by 7%. We're also investigating heavy ammo linear fusion rifles for future release, looking to branch them out from their special ammo brethren by reducing their flinch taken by players. We've identified several issues with Trials of Osiris that are contributing to the current state. In the next 2 episodes, we'll be working towards addressing them in Revenant. Will feature a smaller push to address some of the low-hanging fruit, while Herasy will have a significant rebuild of the Trials of Osiris experience. We will share more info of our goals below, but expect a full preview of those changes to come later. In Revenant, we will want to address the first handful of issues by improving our map rotation, making sure our weapon rewards are strong and meta relevant, and improving how game sandbox feels when played at the highest intensity level. In the future, we have an additional handful of issues we'd like to address by adding a new aesthetic rewards that allow players to show off both determination and skill, further improving the trio experience so players are motivated to play with friends, and the overall goal is to make Trials more fun and more rewarding for all types of players. I know this is different, but it doesn't matter. Trials changes for Revenant. During the next episode, we're currently planning on running trials with the following maps with a handful of flex weeks slotted in throughout the seasons. Dissonance, Cirrus Plaza, Eventide Labs, Javelin 4, Burnout, Endless Veil, Altar of Flame, Rusted Lanes, Wormhaven, and Midtown. We're interested to hear your feedback above the selection of maps. Which map are your favorites in trials? Hey, can we bring back multiplex? I kinda like multiplex trials. I know some of y'all don't, but the long range meta is kind of fun in multiplex. You get to play stuff that you don't normally use. I know I was using Jade, I was using a scout rifle, I was hitting LCs. I don't mind it. I know some of y'all do, but I don't mind it. In terms of rewards, we want to add exciting rewards to improve the ones currently existing in Trials loot pool and strike a better balance in terms of what rewards can be earned each week. For Revenant, we'll be introducing newly buffed, strongly statted, heavy burst Overcooked. Overcooked. No. We're strongly statted heavy burst hand cannon to the loot pool. Yesterday's question alongside the revision of the rocket launcher tomorrow's answer. Yesterday's question, an arc heavy burst hand cannon, air trigger, redacted. 4th time's a charm, redacted. Dragonfly, rabbit hit into the pain. Column 4, desperate measures. Head seeker. Okay, so if y'all don't, okay. So we got desperate measures, head seeker, eye of the storm, moving target, volt shot, vorpal weapon, and zen moment. Okay, so for you gamers that are wanting a warden's law, that's not available, that's available outside of Nightfalls. Here you go. You got 4 times the charm, vorpal right here. Even though it is an energy weapon, so it won't deal as much damage as a kinetic will, but you're going to be using lucky pantses on bosses anyway, so that 10% won't work on bosses, so you'll be pretty much in line. I could definitely see some rapid hit head seeker rolls. I want to try this. I might hop in trials for this. Rapid hit head seeker. You could do to the pain head seeker. Yeah, I want to see this. Tomorrow's answer: avoid high impact rocket launcher, air trigger. On a rocket could be kind of cool. Envious assassin, impulse amplifier, and tracking module, and danger zone with 2 redacted perks. Column 4. Bait and switch, you already got us in there. Bipod, chain reaction, cluster bombs, explosive light, frenzy, vorpal weapon, L. Okay, so of course you could definitely go with, you could definitely do a, I'm letting y'all know now, do not sleep on air trigger. It's a outlaw level reload speed. Air trigger bait and switch could go dumb. Even though it could be kind of stupid in DPS phases, it could go dumb, no. But you can't go wrong with the envious bait, bipod envious. So I'm interested to see what these redacted perks are though. To improve the existing rewards, we have buffed some of the Trials reward subfamilies as mentioned in the sandbox above. Heavy burst pulse rifles and aggressive scout rifles. Okay. Can you bring back Igneous, please? Thank you. We've already detailed the number of changes coming with the ability and weapon sides that we believe will lead to more balanced experience and promote variety of gameplay at high end. To take bigger swings at things, we're also going to be running a very special variant of labs, class-based trials labs. No more than 1 of each class per team, so every team must comprise of a Titan, Hunter, and a Warlock with no duplicates. We're currently having this scheduled to run twice during the season, and we're very interested to hear feedback on how it plays. Matchmaking will also be active, so you can play solo or in a duo, and the matchmaking will find players who do not match your class to fill in your team. There are also a couple of additional changes that were currently being tested, and we hope to have them available to release during the episode. Increasing the Ozarian Cypher's cap, allowing them to have a chance to drop at post-win rewards on 7-1 cards, okay. Reduce the stratification of fireteam matchmaking to allow duos to match trios more often, with the goal of providing loss forgiveness for any solo that gets brought in to fill out the game alongside the duo if they complete the match. Okay, I like that. We're still going, chat. We're almost at the end now. Now it's time to share all the details, but now isn't the time to share all the details, but we've given a short preview of what we're working on towards with our Trials of Osiris rework of Heresy. And a new aesthetic for Trials rewards, including a new armor set for each class, a new ship, Sparrow, Ghost, and exclusive emblem, make the challenger pool less of an all or nothing experience to prioritize flawless or bust gameplay. Oh, that prioritizes flawless or bust gameplay. Lean on what we've started with the flawed call rewards to rewards win streaks, making it feel like it's not a waste of time to play even if you fall at the gates. We want to improve the story of the flawless set of aesthetic rewards so that high skill players can flex appropriately. Seeing a player with a specific armor glow or new Trials emblem should mean something special and not just a generic trophy. However, for Trials to succeed, there needs to also be something for everyone. We want to bring in additional players in Trials by offering an alternative experience more like Iron Banner in terms of loot chase, but for 3v3. The focus here is on making it rewarding to play and not necessarily relying almost entirely on wins to attract players who otherwise avoid the current iteration of Trials entirely because of the perceived high-stakes nature. We also want to update the Dominion to be more in line with the modern sandbox. For example, we're experimenting with making the zone appear later in each round and increasing the time it takes to capture the zone, among other potential changes. And beyond, Trials isn't the only thing that's going to be getting major overhaul in Heresy. We're also making big changes to the way we organize the schedule of our playlist. We're building our skill tracking system and making substantial updates to the way rank is rewarded in our competitive playlist. Good lord, Sandbox. We're investigating additional Crucible specific tuning for ability uptime. We do not have additional details to share at this point, but as soon as we have narrowed down the values, we will communicate them. We're also looking at the Crucible focus tuning for the Storm's Edge Super and Knucklehead Radar exotic armor piece. Storm's Edge, yes. Why would I guess what's wrong with Knucklehead Radar? All it do is give you a radar. What's wrong with that? The modified supremacy mode hardware will also be returning to labs after Revenant's first Iron Banner weeks. Playlist reorganization. We're going to focus on offering a good variety of options and the minimal overlap in terms of experience. Without splitting the population into too many individual silos, our goal is to use the way we learned over the past year with the aim of to consolidate and solidify our playlist into options that better represent the experiences of Destiny PvP can offer, without negatively affecting the matchmaking times of connection and quality. Iron Banner. We're also planning to offer a more relaxed variant of Iron Banner with minimal matchmaking stratification and focus on less serious games, modes like Fortress Eruption and improved versions of Tribute. We also want the Iron Banner experience, especially for casuals, mixed kill fire teams, so we're investigating better sorting fire teams based on the skill variant with them, so we can more effectively differentiate between actual and highly skilled stacked fire teams and casual mixed skill groups of friends, clanmates playing together. Rewarding fire teams better in general for incentivizing of grouping up, like we've begun to do with Trials, and skill and rank changes. We want our skill system to be more transparent and easily understood so players can get a better feeling of where they sit relative to the other players in the matchmaking purposes. Competitive points gained should feel like they make sense, and the ladder you climb should be more easily understood, so we're going to move back to a system where player performance and match has more of a direct impact on how much you gain or lose. Winning and losing will always be the biggest factor in your points, but your performance can help to give you a boost or upwards or offset the close losses, and each player should be easily able to understand why they earned the amount they did at the end of the game. Speaking of competitive, we also want to improve the collision gameplay and investigate ways to make the matches feel more fair and make game mechanics more predictable. Current examples include making it so contesting zone flips it neutral so neither teams grant points if both teams are inside it. Making zone rotations less random by preventing next zones from spawning next to an active zone, experimenting with the different timings of zone removing. We're also going to be adding a variant of collision to private lobbies and Crucible labs for players to experiment with, where the zone takes much longer to capture and awards a single point than rotate once it's been capped. We'll also have a lot more details to share with you later this year, but now we'll see you in the Crucible. This is pretty much it. Basically, they added the ability to search for secrets, exotic catalysts, collectibles, and mining nodes in the exotic mission encore search sections for Fire Team Finder. You can also do for all the above in speedruns. Art of the week, and here we go. That's everything we have this week. We'll be back next week for a lot more details on Revenant, so you have the best understanding of what's to come, including one article on Wednesday focused on the artifact. Let me take a break. I'm joking. Until then, prepare yourselves to gather materials and finish those challenges and triumphs may have left. We're almost there. Destiny to the community team. Boys, if you made it to the end of this video, you're an OG, a real OG, and I'm glad to have you in the underworld. Let me know what you guys think. I am super duper excited for this dungeon, and I cannot wait to when I get back to play this dungeon. I'm telling you, that Monday, as soon as I get off that train, I will be home on the goddamn train thinking of what I'm gonna do to get the solo done. I'm getting this solo done first week the dungeon comes out. I'm letting you know this now. I'm upset that I can't do it in a contest, but I hope that I can be there for next year. thank you guys so much for watching this long video. Hope you have a good rest of your night. And remember, stay spooky. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace.